Hello, this is Brenda. So this is number 7 in this series, which is called the I Am. And today I'm going to talk to you about the I Am in a relationship. So we are in a relationship with ourselves first and foremost, and then of course we're in a relationship with everyone and everything in our world. So if we are not fully connected into our own I Am, that is who we are, on a spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological and physical level, it's very difficult, in fact it's impossible for us to connect particularly heart to heart on an emotional level to others. So we could be connecting socially, we could be connecting to colleagues at work on an intellectual level, but we may feel that there's something or some area where we are actually disconnected, and it's simply because we're not connected fully to our own I Am. So what creates a disconnect from self is a variety of reasons. What I found primarily is abuse. So that would be either mental, emotional, verbal, psychological, sexual abuse. All these forms of abuse, particularly when they happen in a person or a child that is young, creates a disconnect from the blueprint of who you are. It also tends to create a pseudo person that is living life from a satellite area, which means that you're not fully connected or engaged in the knowledge or blueprint of who you're born to be. You've created a person that is fully functional, but is not fully connected into that knowledge of self. So the reason why this occurs is because it feels safer for the person to live in a zone or an area or a satellite space where they can imagine all sorts of wonderful things, where their imaginary world or the world that they've created can feel really safe, really lovely, really pleasant, really full of pleasurable things, when their own reality is stark or dark or uncomfortable or unpleasant. But what happens is that those children that grew up perhaps in an aggressive home, or in a home where there was alcoholism, or where there was some form of violence, where there was domestic or where there was verbal abuse, they tend to continue to live in the satellite zone. So when they're wanting to connect, let's say for instance to a relationship, they're not fully connected to themselves. So who is actually connecting into that relationship? It's the pseudo person, the person that they have created, which actually is not an authentic person. It's a person of their own creation. It's not the original blueprint of who they were born to be. And so I've even had mothers that say they can't connect to their babies, their children, are finding themselves disconnected. And it's really, it's because they're not fully connected into their own person. And this would then hamper or diminish the opportunity or prospect of connecting into their children or child. Of course, even with a relationship, it's hard to connect to another person or being when you're not connected into yourself. So you'll always feel like there's a bit of a disconnect. And so it's really important that you reconnect into and find out who you are, who that original authentic person is. So have some inner dialogue going with yourself. Find out what it is you really like, what it is you really love, what it is you're really passionate about. A lot of people don't know that. They can't make decisions because they're not connected into their own I Am. They can't formulate opinions. That's why they tend to be very controlled through or prescribed to by other people's opinions, because they simply don't have their own, because they're simply not connected into the knowledge of self. So if we're not connected into self, it makes it very difficult for us to have meaningful, long-term relationships. So another thing that actually does create disconnect is personality modification. So I'll be discussing that in the next series, in the next video of the series. So that will be video number 8. So I'll be doing that shortly. So look out for it, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. Please like it, please share it. There are many people that are battling with relationships today, and the key to that is really quite simple. Connecting to yourself so you can connect into others. I hope you've enjoyed this. I wish you a really good day, and goodbye until next time.